Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. This is the post-fight review for the Justis Huni vs Christian Tsoye fight, which was in Australia. Justis Huni defends his Australian heavyweight title, getting the decision over 10 rounds over Tsoye, 99-91 on 2 counts, 98-92 on the third. So this was a fight where Justis Huni used his height and his reach well, countered well. So we'll get to some of the action and then on to a few thoughts, including about the Paul Gallen fight next, because Gallen, he was ringside. He was making some comments, pretty clear what he's going to be looking to do against Justis Huni. But we'll start with the action proper. So 10-round fight, as I mentioned. Justis Huni, right from the get-go, using his height, using his reach, using his skills. He was obviously a couple of levels above Christian Tsoye, and as I said ahead of this fight, a little bit of a risk taking this one, because fighting Paul Gallen in June and then looking to go to the Olympics, so there was an element of risk with, certainly getting injured or cut, which could have thrown the next fight or the Olympics out the door. But he managed to get through this cut-free, injury-free, using his height and his reach early on. He looked very dominant against Christian Tsoye. Tsoye was having a hard time getting to the inside, getting his work away. And when he was coming in, he was often coming off second best in the exchanges. For the most part, Justis Huni was able to counter well, walk him onto shots, and especially early on, the left hook to the body, some sort of sickening body shots were coming in. And you could tell that was making Tsoye think twice about coming in. But at different points, he did have success. Tsoye, looking to land the right hand over the top. But for the most part, this was all Huni. Round 5 in particular, Tsoye probably the best round for him, at least in terms of the first part. But then Justis Huni came on very strong in the second half. And the commentators were actually saying, hey, the ref looks like he might be taking a look at Christian Tsoye here. I thought maybe that was a little premature on their part saying that. But Tsoye, he was able to rally and see out the rest of the fight. After the fight, you had Justis Huni saying that he was really happy to get the rounds out here, that he wanted to box smart, he wanted to come out injury-free, and obviously with what's coming up, that was going to be important. And he actually had a message for Gallen, which was, it's showtime, let's get it on. So the action overall here for Justis Huni, a lot of positives. I still think that there's a question about his power. He's got enough power to get your respect. You could see that from Christian Tsoye. He was a little bit wary about just walking in, or as Paul Gallen was saying, he needs to inch in, double jab, and just let his hands go. He did that in spots, maybe not with the double jab, just coming straight in, but often coming off second best on this one. But Huni, in terms of what we saw there, his skills were on display, had good footwork, and often just, a half a step back, and he was well out of range of the shots which were flying in from Christian Tsoye. He really did show some good footwork in this one. And, he was able to, throughout, which was, a good sign for this young 22-year-old, dictate the pace in the range, and especially manage the range well, because Christian Tsoye often falling short, unable to have much success, and use that height and reach effectively. The body shots, certainly a real plus for Justis Huni, the left hook to the body in particular, and he was very good on the counter in this fight. Christian Tsoye would commit, and then Justis Huni would make him pay, make him miss, make him pay. It was very impressive. Paul Gallen, he was obviously ringside for this event, so this was just a couple of fights on this media-only event. Justis Huni obviously headlining this one here. Gallen was sat ringside, and here is a shot of him smiling up at Justis Huni. This was post-fight. He was impressed with what he was seeing with Justis Huni in terms of the skills and what he was able to do, but there was certainly some commentary through the fight. He was like, this is what Christian Tsoye should be looking to do, but he really wasn't able to apply that in there. Gallen was just imploring Tsoye to basically come forward, inch forward, double jab, let your hands go. And clearly that is going to be his strategy when he faces Justis Huni. And I know when this fight between Huni and Gallen was announced, because I did a video on it, some people just think that Justis Huni is going to wash Paul Gallen in a round or two. I actually think it's going to be a much tougher encounter for Justis Huni, but this is where he's going to have to rely on his skills, as we saw against Christian Tsoye. We also saw that against Arsene Fosso and also Whainga Opilu, although, he did manage to sort of stop those guys rounds 4 and round 7 respectively. Christian Tsoye, similar to Fosso and Opilu, a hard guy, maybe a few levels below, but he's able to give rounds and give some experience. And this is why the 10 rounds here, although a bit of a risk taking this fight, invaluable rounds for Justis Huni. 1 for the Gallen fight, but 2 for the Olympics. He needs to be sort of banking a few rounds, getting this in-ring experience ahead of the step-up fights like Gallen next month. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he's just going to be stopping Paul Gallen in a round or two. It could end up being a bit tougher than some people think. Huni is the favourite for a reason in that one, and I think for what we saw against Christian Tsoye, we'll see similar sort of traits. He'll be looking to land that left hook to the body. He'll be looking to counter Gallen as well. May see a bit more of the uppercut, especially if Paul Gallen is barreling down on Justis Huni. But I do expect he'll be using the ring, using his footwork, which was on display here. He is the bigger man against Paul Gallen. And he'll need to, if Gallen is just trying to walk in recklessly, get up on his chest and sort of bang away, he's going to need to catch him on the way in. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think it could go more than a round or two. I do expect Huni to win that one, but it could be quite tough for him. I mean, remembering Lucas Brown was complaining about, elbows, rabbit punches and wrists, all that sort of stuff. Paul Gallen is a guy who comes in, throws volume and just lets his hands go. That could present a few problems for Justis Huni, but he is well equipped with his skills. So I'm looking forward to that fight just to sort of see where Huni is at, and not because Paul Gallen is a master boxer or is going to do anything in the heavyweight division that we don't expect him to do. But, I think he's been coming a bit better than advertised, and it could be, one of the tougher or the toughest fight for Huni so far in his career. So we'll have to see what happens there, but I'm looking forward to it. But he beats Christian Tsoye here over 10 rounds, 98-92 on one card, 99-91 on 2 of the others. Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.